Okay, I actually just kept them. I thought you were going to.
Good evening, everyone. Can you please stand and join us for the pledge? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So this evening, we have a special presentation, policy number 5300, Code of Conduct. Presenters Jose Delgado, Manil Tariq, David Ramirez, Rachel Jean-Charles, Tala Remen, John Callan, Principal, and Dr. Vincent Leon, Coordinator of Funded Programs.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Just going to get our presentation set up. Well, good evening.
Good evening.
Everyone is here. No, I'm sorry. Have we met?
No, I'm Roger.
Roger, how are you? Greetings. Thank you to the Board of Education for this opportunity to present, of course, to Mr. Lochner, Cabinet that's here, parents, family, community members, and our students. Of course, our students, to give the board and our community an update on Board Policy 5300, that's the Code of Conduct. This presentation is going to focus, however, on 5300.25, which is a significant evolution, if you will, of our dress code policy here in Brentwood. So I just want to take a little bit of time to talk about the process that our district went through to update and evolve, if you will, the dress code policy and the opportunities that we seized and leveraged in doing so to create what we think is a far better, more effective policy. So the first part of the process for updating and evolving the policy was listening, and active listening. And over a couple of years, we listened to all of our constituent groups who had some concerns about the dress code policy as it was formally constituted. So we listened to our staff. We listened to school building leaders and teachers. Students were missing instructional time because of dress code violations. Students who were being suspended and detention. So when students miss instructional time, that is, of course, a big concern. So we listened to those concerns over the course of a couple of years. Parents would call our schools, would call central office with concerns about the dress code as it was formally constituted. Why? Right, a natural answer. Why is the policy written in the way it is? For what reasons? What is the objective? So we listen to our parent concerns, and then our students, our most important constituents, brought concerns, to us, and brought concerns to the Board of Education last year. And our students were concerned that the dress code policy, as formally constituted, prohibited them from expressing themselves as individuals, prohibited them from expressing their cultural and religious beliefs. And they also raised a concern that the enforcement of the code was disproportionate in terms of infractions against females in the school district. So taking all of those concerns into consideration, the concerns that we heard from our staff, the concerns that we heard from our parents, the concerns that we heard from our students. Our policy committee thought it was a good idea to review the policy to change it. And that's exactly what we did. And the policy committee was made up of a representative group of stakeholders and included the Board of Education. Trustee Gonzalez-Prescott, who I don't see here today, was instrumental in being a voice, communicating the urgency of the matter, representing the Board of Education to make this change. We had school building leaders, school district leaders, our teachers, incredible parents and students on that committee to review the existing policy. And what that committee found collectively was that the policy as it was formally constituted was antiquated, was old, was not reflective of a complex 21st century world, was not reflective of the diverse community that we serve here in Brentwood. And when you looked at the policy, we agreed with our students' assessment that all of the prohibitions in the policy as they pertain to attire were all about articles of clothing that are traditionally and historically worn by females. No spaghetti straps, no halter tops, and things of this nature. So the application of that code could really only result in one thing if you followed the code: a disproportionate focus on female students historically. So we thought, we can't just update this code. It has to be totally redone from the very beginning. We couldn't just tweak it. So our policy committee went out to do research to find a code that was more reflective of the times in our community. And we did. We found different policies from different places, and we put it together to really make it Brentwood's. So that was the development, and that was the process that we went through to develop the new policy. The opportunities. So there were some real opportunities that we saw to develop this new policy. And the first was to communicate our values and our goals. That didn't happen previously. So the first thing people usually ask when they have a question about a policy like this is what? Why? Why does the policy exist? And why does it exist in the form that it's in? We took that opportunity to communicate our values and goals, and we think it's a vast, vast improvement. We took the opportunity to evolve from what was formerly a singular focus on prohibitions. The former policy was students cannot. So we took the opportunity to evolve that myopic thinking to communicate to students not only what they can't wear, there is some you can't wear in there, but we also communicated what students must wear, because you have to wear something, what students may wear and what students may not wear. And we also took the opportunity to create a policy that is really contemporary and does reflect the incredible diversity of our community. So our values, as communicated in the new proposed dress code policy. All students should be able to dress comfortably for school and engage in the educational environment without fear of or actual unnecessary discipline or body shaming. Student dress choices should respect the district's intent to sustain a community that is inclusive of a diverse range of identities. All students should be able to dress in a manner that respects their own personal sense of style and cultural identity. Student dress code enforcement should not result in unnecessary barriers to school attendance. School staff should be trained and able to use student body positive language to explain the code and to address code violations. Finally, reasons for conflict and inconsistent and or inequitable discipline should be minimalized whenever possible. What we value, what we believe, clearly communicated. Our goals, which didn't formally exist in the policy, by communicating, teaching, and modeling high standards of personal responsibility, it is our expectation this dress code will contribute to our students' college, career, and civic readiness. It is all about student success. Maintain a safe learning environment in classes where protective or supportive clothing is needed, such as chemistry, biology, dance, or physical education. Allow students to wear clothing that is comfortable and allow students to wear clothing that expresses their self-identified gender. And finally, allow students to wear religious attire without fear of discipline or discrimination. Talked about the evolution from a singular focus on prohibitions, students may not, to a more comprehensive focus, what students must wear, may wear, and may not wear. And the may not wear attire focuses on any articles of clothing that would disrupt the educational process, and they have been what we refer to as degendered. And there is not a higher or increased focus on articles of clothing that are traditionally and historically worn by females. And finally, we've developed a policy that we believe is contemporary and reflective of our community, as reflected in the following statement. The BUFSD is responsible for ensuring that student attire does not interfere with the health or safety of any student, that student attire does not contribute to a hostile or intimidating atmosphere for any student, and that dress code enforcement does not reinforce or increase marginalization or oppression of any group based on race, sex, gender identity, gender expression, sexual orientation, ethnicity, religion, cultural observance, household income, or body type size. In short, we are responsible for ensuring that students stay safe and that no student is marginalized for any reason whatsoever. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the process that we went through to update the policy, dress code policy. But why hear it from me when you can hear the highlights from our wonderful, wonderful students? Before I ask the students to speak to their impressions of the evolution of the policy, Mr. John Callan, our incredible principal, any words, sir?
I would just simply say that one of the things that we did in meeting was really kind of focus on, go away from distraction, go away and go into more appropriate attire for the environment that we have in our schools. And one of the things that the students talked about was we really spent a lot of time over these last couple of years in terms of building respect and having a respectful atmosphere. Some of the things that we've done is some of the restorative policies that we've engaged in terms of discipline, and this kind of falls in line with building a respectful atmosphere within a school. And appropriate dress within a respectful environment is kind of where we focused, and that's where the students kind of focused as well. So I would turn it over to some of them and hear their voices, because we did listen to them and we did make adjustments because of their voices. So with that, who wants to speak first?
Hello, everyone. My name is Manahal Tariq, and I'd just like to highlight a key point that I think is one of the most crucial things within the modified dress code. So, as stated in the dress code, school staff should be trained and able to use student body positive language to explain the code and to address code violations. So it is my belief, and as the students as a whole, that students who tend to violate the dress code don't really understand it or haven't read it or been exposed to it as well. So when they are dress coded, it's very important for staff and administrators to explain in a positive manner why they were dress coded. Having a reason behind the discipline that's enforced is very important for students to realize and make adjustments in the future.
Hello, my name is Raja Dion and I'm a senior at the high school. I just wanted to address, no pun intended though, that how our new dress code is very specific. It lists that certain body parts, that are allowed to be shown and be covered, as well as clothing that are allowed and prohibited clothing. With all this, I just wanted to mention the effort that the staff went through to include the students, the parents, and all the administration to help develop this new dress code. In all, after reading the dress code many times, the new dress code shows what the student body is, and it helps us represent ourselves in many different ways. It's to help prepare us for the future. I see it as a way of helping me with further jobs down the line, to see the relationships that I have to form and the ways that I have to act. School is a respectful environment and a place that we are here to learn. I think that this new dress code helps establish this respect that is allowed between the students and teachers. So I'd just like to pass that on to Rachel. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rachel Jean Charles, and I am going to be talking about the next part that is shown in the dress code. So, in the dress code, in the new dress code, it is shown to be more inclusive and more non-biased compared to the last dress code that was set in place. A lot of students last year showed their concerns and how they were uncomfortable, and they did not agree with the last dress code because they felt that it was more targeted towards girls or other ethnicities that was not represented in the last dress code. So by having a new dress code put in place that actually is more inclusive and actually thinks of the students of nowadays, because in this new time, people have progressed and trends have formed. And by having this set in place, it makes students feel more heard and they appreciate and not feel targeted, and make the school environment more safe and encourage everybody to go along and appreciate the new dress code. So, thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Talha Rahman and I'm a junior. So I'd like to speak about how this updated dress code has many positive impacts, including many positive aspects, including the fact that it promotes a more serious and respectful school environment. And not only does this dress code state what is prohibited, but it also explains why, which is crucial because the dress code is no longer subjective to the enforcer's perspective.
Wow.
So I'm not sure why I said anything at all. We could have just heard from the students. Thank you so much. You all did a wonderful, wonderful job. Ladies and gentlemen, are there any questions about the process, the opportunities that we feel like we've leveraged? Any questions whatsoever?
Are we going to have all the administrators monitoring how the kids are dressed in school?
So as Talha mentioned, I think it was Talha.
I mean, I know it's in effect as of now because we're voting on it,
So,
but I've seen that they're still coming to school not dressed appropriately.
so We are waiting for board approval for our new policy. And once the board gives us your blessing and approval, training is a vital part of this process.
Right.
And it takes time in education. In order to go fast, you have to go slow. But we do intend to train all of our administrators, teaching staff, and eventually students. And the previous dress code that was in place for a very, very long time. And this dress code is fundamentally different. So 100%, it will not be effective if we don't devote some time to training. We absolutely will do so at all levels. And this is a district dress code. It's not just a dress code for the high school or the secondary schools. So we will train everybody. It's also explicit in the dress code that our staff is expected to model, the tenets of the dress code. So we're all in this together, so we will model what is appropriate for students. We will train, and then we will teach. And we will teach in the moment in a way that is respectful. And that is very, very important. Very important.
If I can, I do appreciate that question, and thank you, Dr. Leone. I do want to say, I want to thank Dr. Leone, and actually all of the members. I know Mr. Callen, you were on that as well.
Me too, Rich.
You know, it really was a collaborative effort. We actually had many students who graduated last year. They were seniors. They were part of the policy committee. And it was really wonderful. I went to a few of the meetings myself, and it was just terrific the way it was led by Dr. Leone and board members, and they allowed everyone to voice their opinions. They really did do a tremendous amount of research. They looked at different states, all the way out to California to take a look at different districts. And I do believe, and I'm certain that our dress code will be one that is mirrored throughout the country eventually. I think they'll look at Brentwood's code of conduct and say that is really inclusive and really thoughtful. In terms of what you just asked, it actually, we did put it in our student agendas. We kind of put the cart before the horse because we had to. Obviously, we had to print that over the summertime, but honestly, the board has not yet voted on it. But it is our intention, when it is official, that we do have trainings throughout the district, not just for teachers, as Dr. Leone said, but for students as well, and administrators. What I do love is that, once everyone is trained, everybody does read the policy, which I really do encourage everybody who's listening now, and we'll send out announcements to really read that code of conduct from beginning to end to understand it, because I do believe what Dr. Leone said is critical. We lead with our goals and values as a school district, and so I think it's important that we all understand we're coming from the same place. But then eventually we will, have to have some conversations about expectations. And I'm sure, everyone will appreciate that.
Just wanted to add, I wanted to thank everyone in the district who participated in updating this antiquated policy, and for the forward thinking with students and the collaborative efforts with the administrative team and all those involved. It just kind of lends itself to that whole collaborative effort that we're trying to reinvigorate the community and the district with. So, it's also showing our students that they have a voice, that they can affect change, and to keep that momentum once they leave our halls. So I commend all of you for this initiative, and I'm so proud of the students for really, really, really leading and championing this initiative. So thank you so very much.
Dr. Leone, I'm not sure if anybody in the audience has questions as well. Does anybody have any questions about the policy?
Where can you find that policy on the website?
Actually, all of our policies, if you go you go to our website and you go under the Board of Education, okay, under that tab, and then you follow it through, you'll see the Board of Education policies. Now, this one has not.
Number. 5,300.
It's 5,300. Yeah, you'll be able to go down to it. But this one I don't think has actually, because it has not been formally adopted by the district, it's not actually on the website yet. However, you can get a preview if you have a son or daughter in the district. It's in many of our student agendas. Did that help, or?
You said student agenda, my son's in freshman, when you say student, you mean the book?
Yes,
Do they get it, the freshman center?
I believe the freshman center, I'm not 100% certain. I know the high school has student agendas. I know many of the middle schools. I'd have to verify whether the freshman center has a student agenda. I believe they do.
I'm pretty sure.
So
How
I'm
long
pretty
will-
sure they do. I'm pretty certain every secondary school does.
Rich, how long will it take for us to actually publish this onto the district website?
Well, I mean, I can tell you what, I mean, it might be a little unusual to do, Dr. Leone, but you think maybe we should put it out in draft form? We could put that on the website, just as we've done with other policies, and then in 30 days, when the Board of Education votes on it? What do you think?
I think that would be appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, so what we can do is, I'll ask, our web person tomorrow to put it on the website and put a link to it so anybody can open it up. Understand it is, in draft form, the Board of Education still has to vote on it.
Any other questions from the audience? Okay. So we're going to move on to our special recognition to teachers.
Oh, yes, don't anybody leave yet. We actually have cookies and dessert as well as coffee over there. Please just stop over there. And who actually put them in? Okay. Cindy and Maria actually baked the cookies. I had them in exec session. They're phenomenal. They are really fantastic. So please stop over there and grab some of the baked goods over there. So I think, Ms. Felix, did you ask for the next presentation? All right.
Are we continuing with the special
Yeah,
recognitions?
if we could. We will, it is my pleasure. I think what I'm going to do is introduce the athletic director, Mr. Francisco Herrera, who will speak a little bit, but I do want to just talk briefly about a program that was started 2 years ago. We have 3 phenomenal educators that are going to be recognized for their efforts with the swim program. I will tell you that this was an idea that was spoken about for many, many years. It took us a few years to get it off the ground, and it is probably one of the most successful programs that's ever been launched in this district. We have a swim program where we teach young kids pool safety, water safety. We teach them how to swim. I'm going to let the teachers speak about that. They do a far better job than I do. And then it really, if we can translate that all the way up to the high school, we then have a lifeguard class that is really second to none. One of the things you should understand that we are producing lifeguards by the dozens every year who are out working as lifeguards for the town of Islip, for the county, different pools. We have many of our lifeguards who've graduated from the high school are actually over at Roberto Clemente Park, working right here in Brentwood. It is an incredibly well-paying job. They're desperate for lifeguards, and I have to commend the teachers because they are on the forefront. And we're probably one of the only school districts that are producing lifeguards at this rate. But also, we have a family swim night. That's Thursdays. Actually, the instructors just came from that. They do that every Thursday. It's an open swim night. And I have to say, I actually forward to the board over the last few years the emails. I probably, and this is no kidding around, probably have received about 125, 150 emails from families whose children who have gone through this swim program and are incredibly grateful that we are teaching young kids water safety. It's just a tremendous program. So, Mr. Herrera, the athletic director. Could you introduce these special people?
Good evening, everyone on the dais, everyone here in the community. I actually wasn't prepared to speak. I was just going to be here as a supporter to our staff. But before I get started, I would like to call, come on up here, because you're the ones that be recognized.
Yes, we have.
As they come up, I just, Susie, Tom, and Fran had come up to me and explored this idea, and we were just going back and forth, and I just thought it was a tremendous idea. It hit home, because several years back, my son was an infant, and he happened just to go into our pool, and if we didn't catch that quick enough, God forbid knows what would have happened. So this did hit home, and then you hear the horror stories in the communities of some children sometimes going into neighbors' pools and unfortunately passing. So when she brought this idea to me, I just thought it was a home run. And we've been speaking about collaborative efforts here, and we just joined heads here, and you know, with Stacy and Annie and Rich, we just thought that this was a tremendous idea. So we piloted for a season. At the time, it was just a pilot of a family swim. Actually, it was the Learn to Swim program. Mm-hmm. And you got to excuse me on this because Val, our secretary, and I were speaking this afternoon, and it's like the hottest ticket in the it's hotter than who's that? Harry Styles. That's what we said. It's hotter than a Harry Styles ticket. Sorry for actually knowing who Harry Styles is, but I mean I think you said it best. The letters from the community that are coming are just through the roof. I think honestly we've probably doubled that since, and it brings me great joy reading these letters, because letters from, you know, thank you for giving my child the confidence to swim, to you know, my child now has the courage to go out and try out for the swim team. Mm-hmm. And now that pilot went from our Learn to Swim to family swim night, and now to an adult swim program. So it has just taken off, and I am so proud, and I'm so humbled to introduce now our staff, Ms. Susie G1b, Ms. Fran Falls, Mr. Tom Drum.
All right. You guys have to talk. Come on, Susie.
We just want to say that we are honored to be here, and it is really wonderful to service such a wonderful community with such a vital skill, which is the ability to learn how to swim. And then once you learn how to swim, to develop that love. And then you want to either become a water safety instructor, which now we have water safety instructors here at the high school level, who now are teaching.
That's tremendous. That is tremendous.
So not only do we certify lifeguards that go out into our local municipalities and also work for the Learn to Swim program, we now have water safety instructors who are now certified going into our communities, teaching our kids how to swim at Roberto Clemente, at Casamento, at Safety Swim. So it's been a blessing, I believe, for the community, and it's all thanks to you guys for your continued support, and the community for just getting involved. So we're just really so thankful to serve you guys in this way. So thank you for having us.
Susie, can you introduce everybody?
Sure. Anel, come on up. Jackie. Anel is one of our lifeguards. She works tonight at the Family Swim. Jackie is one of our lifeguards and water safety instructor. She works with our Learn to Swim program, and then she also got a job for the town of Islip, teaching water safety at Roberto D. Clemente this summer. And then Brizales is a lifeguard and a water safety instructor, and she also works for our Learn to Swim program, and she also works for the town of Islip, teaching swimming lessons at Casamento Pool.
That's incredible. Incredible.
And there's a lot more where they came from, too. A lot more. So we're just really thankful.
About how many lifeguards per semester? do we produce?
Realistically, I would say anywhere from 20 to 28 lifeguards a semester.
That's incredible. That is incredible.
And what's really great is that we have a great relationship with the town of Islip, so that rolls over into jobs and the ability to run water safety instructor courses and provide our students with jobs outside of school as well as inside of school.
Yeah, incredible.
So it's just really a great opportunity. So thank you again.
Thank you for
You want to?
spearheading this program. And it just goes to show the many opportunities we're providing for our students in this district with the help of the administrative, faculty, and staff. So thank you very much for taking our students under your wing. Thank you.
Yes, it's really our pleasure. And one other thing I wanted to mention, we also have opened up to different schools to have, we've had Pine Park come and have a family fun night.
That's
And so if
great, yeah.
anybody's interested in hosting, we are more than willing to serve you as lifeguards.
How cool
At
is
the
that?
pool.
Thank
That is great. I think we have,
I do want to add that we are, although we are not the trailblazers, because this has been done in other districts, since we piloted this program, 6 or 7 other districts have now copied what we've done and have taken it to their district as well.
we're so used to that.
Yeah, as per
Everybody's
usual.
always,
As
believe
per
me.
usual.
Unbelievable how much they
But
have.
it's just, you know what, it's smart because we have a shortage of lifeguards.
Yeah.
And what better district than to start promoting this, novel type of work than, to have our own students doing it and taking it out there and trailblazing out there.
And I do have to reiterate, without these 3 individuals here who have actually committed so much time and so much effort into this program, it's just unbelievable to see the smiles on the faces of these young kids.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
So we have some recognition for you guys. Certificate of Appreciation is presented to Thomas Drum in special recognition for your exemplary service and commitment to our students and the Brentwood community with implementing and supervising various swim programs and teaching the fundamentals of water safety.
Thank you. And also, and obviously Fran Falls and Susie Goomba, we have one for you as well. So can we get a picture?
Absolutely.
All right.
Do you want me to read yours?
Come on, read these.
Because I feel like I read Tom's.
I think read it.
You gotta read it.
I don't want to, to walk away feeling like. Okay. Certificate of Appreciation is presented to Fran Falls in special recognition for your exemplary service and commitment to our students and the Brentwood community with implementing and supervising various swim programs and teaching the fundamentals of water safety. This certificate of appreciation is presented to Susan Goomba in special recognition for your exemplary service and commitment to our students and the Brentwood community with implementing and supervising various swim programs and teaching the fundamentals of water safety.
college down in Florida State University. He's a lifeguard. He went to Station High School. They had no idea about this. He was just accepted to the college. If he works at Orlando, his goal, his dream is to work there. He wants to work at Orlando. For Disney. If he works as a lifeguard for Disney a few hours a week, they pay for his entire college. They had no idea. All honest, if you're my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, stuff like this happens to them all the time. They had no idea. They're down there, they're texting us. They're in the introduction. And he's gonna be a lifeguard at Orlando, a few hours a week, in college baseball. Is that hysterical?
Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Just bring my chair.
I'll bring in the whole board. We're blessing all the chairs.
So, can you believe, that's a true story.
That's
They
amazing.
had no idea.
Amazing. All right. So we're going to move along with our public session agenda. Our student liaisons, Jose Delgado and Manil Tariq. Did I say your name correctly?
It's Minahil.
Manal Hill. Manal. Thank you for correcting me.
Okay, hello everyone. Jose wasn't able to make it tonight, so it's just me. I'd like to start by reiterating some of the things we said about the dress code. I would just like to thank the whole board, Mr. Callan, Dr. Leone, everyone who was involved, everyone who played a role in the updates. We're all really grateful for everything you've done, and the school newspaper is working on putting out an article for the dress code updates for our first issue, which should come out within the first week or so of October. So we'll definitely work on getting the updates out and the students informed. But also, I'd like to thank everyone the board especially, for working to train the staff better to better enforce the dress code. And I was going to ask if the dress code hasn't been approved yet, because we did meet with Ms. Ortiz, and she said it was going to happen within October, but it's already happening now, so thank you very much. And I'd like to also ask, so students have been having an issue with Teams, which is our main form of communication within this district. So every 24 hours or so, all students will get logged out. I've spoken to some teachers. They don't have the same issue. So the administrators and teachers, they don't get logged out of Teams, but every 24-hour students, we have to re-log in. So when we're logged out, we don't get a notification saying that we have to sign in again. So we don't know that we got logged out until we open the app at whatever time and we see that we've been logged out. So while we're logged out, we don't get notifications from our teachers. We don't see that we've gotten new assignments or any messages. So this has been a problem between students and teachers. Students complain that they haven't been able to do their work or assignments the next day because they were logged out the night before or so, and they just didn't know that they had assignments. And teachers are complaining that the students aren't seeing that they had assignments. So if you could please look into this and work out so that as us administrators and teachers don't get logged out, if we could have the same thing for the students, that would be really helpful. There's also an issue with Outlook. I know the administrators and teachers use that as a way of communicating within the district, but it's not the same for students. So within the principals committee, we've spoken, and we think it's really important, especially for the high school age, for them to be able to use Outlook as a way to communicate with their teachers and administrators besides Teams messages, which, as efficient as it is, when we get into college, the only way we're able to communicate with our professors is through email. So if it could be fixed that students are allowed to use Outlook to email, that would be great. So moving on to the new lunch menu, we have been tasting the new halal menu. I've tasted it many times. The food is actually really amazing. It's I feel, for me personally at least, I feel like it's a lot better than what was provided last year. So I'm really thankful for there to be able for there to be able to be new options for not only me but my fellow Muslims within the district to eat. And I was just hoping to ask when we will be having a taste testing for the students to incorporate not only new halal menu items but other menu items for kids who don't eat halal. So as soon as I get that information, we're also putting out an article from the newspaper informing the students that there is a new halal option, so students are well informed. So as you may know, everyone is required to have a lunch period, so everyone is tasting the lunch, they're all eating it. So a lot more kids are informed now what they're eating and what's provided. So if you could have a taste testing to just incorporate things that are much more approved of by the student body, that would be really appreciated. And just to wrap up, the Principals Committee will be hosting town hall meetings every month or bi-monthly as is necessary. We'll be discussing any issues that come up within the student body. So everyone is welcome, especially Mr. Lochner and Ms. Ortiz. You're always welcome to come. And we hope to see you at the home show this Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you. So one of the items you brought to the forefront, Manahil, is the food tasting. So we were considering developing a food advisory committee, but we're going to roll that underneath the academic advisory committee. So we'll be taking leadership of the tasting menu. So I am the chair of that committee, and I will be looking to do something hopefully by end of October, early November. I just want to have some time to coordinate with food services, and things are limited out there right now, so I wanted to bring some things into district and also have you guys, the student body, participate in choices for that taste testing. Anything, Rich?
So I just wanted to add something. So I just wanted to say we're really happy that you're enjoying the halal food options. And I just wanted to mention that the halal food options, all of us, when we talked about it, we felt that it was, it's almost become like a category of food, right? So it's not just for Muslim students. We're hoping that non-Muslim students alike can enjoy some of the halal options as something fresh and different as an option within the school district. So we're continuing as a board to work on the food. And we feel like the food is a really important component of ensuring that you guys have the energy and excitement to be enriched throughout the day. And so we want to thank you for at least enjoying some of the options that are available now.
Thank you, Hassan. Do you have anything? I know you want to finish.
I'm really happy that we were finally able to roll this out and roll it out successfully. So thank you to everyone who pioneered this, for the students that are partaking of it, and parents, please be, on notice that it's available. For younger students especially, it's important that you communicate with their teachers if you want the halal option, because the teachers in the morning take a tally of the lunch count of the different menu items. So please communicate with your elementary school student teachers so that they can be aware that if you want the halal option for your student. And again, it's not just for Muslim students, it's for anybody in the district who wants to avail themselves of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
Aye.
Anyone else?
I have a question. With the lockout on Teams, does that have to do with IT?
Well, honestly, I have to be honest, this is the first time I've heard that students are locked out every 24 hours. So I will.
And then with the issue with Outlook, I mean, if they're gonna be penalized because their work isn't being handed in, we really need to do something
Well,
about this, like, right away.
Right, that's actually two different issues, the email issue and then the Teams issue. But I'll look into that as soon as, really the meeting is over. First I'm hearing about it, I guess that's the same with you, Stacy. So I'll look into it and we'll find out exactly why students are logged out. If there's anything that can be done, we'll certainly do that. That's the best I can answer right now, so I do apologize. The Outlook question too, I'll have to look into that as well. I thought on Teams, there is an email option on Teams. Are you communicating with your teacher via the email option on Teams, or?
No, so on Teams, you can send a direct text message.
Right.
But on Outlook, you can receive emails from teachers and administrators, but we've attempted to send out emails like Dr. Leone, but there's a message that pops up that says add me as well, so he doesn't receive any writing like that.
Okay. Again, this is something that is the first time I'm hearing about that, so I don't want to misspeak or give you some false information. So if you allow me to look into that, I'll inform the board of the answer to some of these questions, and then, eventually we'll get that answer to the student body. Okay?
Thank you so much. Questions on agenda items? Public participation during this board meeting shall be in accordance with Board Policy 1230. Kathy, did we have any? Okay. Anything from the audience?
My copy didn't have that page. Like, okay, where's that? I just wanted to know, Carmen Rayola, Brentwood resident, the B2GG, what needs are you looking to service from the ABC Rainbow, or to our parents and students?
I believe that's page 10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, page 10, third item. Yep.
I'm happy to answer
Yes,
that.
please.
That's the one we discussed.
You're actually.
Good evening, Ms. Iola. How are you?
Good.
Good, thank you. So with regard to B2GG, which is on page 10, the board will be making a motion to amend that resolution this evening. So the amendment will remove the term Applied Behavior Analyst, ABA, and Parent Training Services. So instead, that sentence will read, "Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby authorizes the president of the board to execute a contract with ABC Rainbow Consulting, LLC, to provide services to specific students and their families who reside in the Brentwood Union Free School District." And the rest of that resolution will remain the same.
So would it be safe to say it's similar to what was done last year? By them, they were sending out TAs and special ed TAs. Is that basically what's?
That's actually, yeah, exactly what we'll be looking for. And again, as with all of these contracted companies, we try to limit how many we
Right.
bring in.
No, I said, is that new?
Yeah, but that's it.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carmen. Okay, consent agenda. Be it resolved that the following items be approved. B1A through B1M. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Julie Burgos, I need a second.
Second.
Second by Cindy Safiri. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Noes? Abstentions? So moved. B2A through B2HH.
Yeah, to amend, yeah.
B2,
Ms. Felix, if we could have a motion to
yes,
amend B2GG as I previously stated,
yes.
we can do that at this time.
Yep. I need a motion to amend B2GG.
Motion.
Motion by Hassan Ahmed. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Cindy Safiri. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstention? So moved. Be it resolved that the following items be approved. B2A through B2HH. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Cindy Safiri. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Hassan Ahmed. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. C1A, be it resolved that the following items be approved. C1A and C1b. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Simone Holder Daniel. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Cindy Safiri. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. D1, separate items for action. D1A, appointments, resignations, and leaves, certificated personnel. A motion would be in order to adopt the resolution as follows. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby approves the certificated personnel action report contained in the board packet for the September 15th, 2022 board meeting. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Julie Burgos. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Maria Malave. All in favor? Aye. Noes? Abstentions? So moved. D1B, appointments, resignations, and leaves, non-certificated personnel. A motion would be in order to adopt the resolution as follows. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby approves the non-certificated personnel action report contained in the board packet for the September 15, 2022 board meeting. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Julie Burgos. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Cindy Safiri. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Noes? Abstentions? So moved. D1C, BCA Memorandum of Agreement. A motion would be in order to adopt the resolution as follows. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education of the Brentwood Union Free School District hereby approves and ratifies a certain memorandum of agreement dated September 15th, 2022, between the negotiating representatives of the Brentwood Union Free School District and the negotiating representatives of the Brentwood Clerical Association, BCA. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Maria Malave. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Hassan Ahmed. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Noes? Abstentions? So moved. D1D, approval of workdays for retired administrator. A motion would be in order to adopt the resolution as follows. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby approves Patricia Hilton, retired school cook manager, to assist the School Food Service Department beginning September 19th, 2022, and be it further resolved that Ms. Hilton shall be remunerated at a rate of $300 per day for days worked not to exceed 40 days. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Cindy Safiri. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Julie Burgos. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. E1A, student enrollment figures. September 7th, 2022, opening enrollment figures total 17,763. September 9th, 2022, closing enrollment figures. Total enrollment, 17,731. Special services enrollment figures. Elementary, 1,066. Middle school, 617. Freshman center, 180. High school, 621. Attending out-of-district schools, K through 12, 323. Resource room-related services, district residents, 37. Home, hospital teaching, OOD, none. Approved preschool programs, 250. Related services, preschool programs, 105. F1 through 5, miscellaneous items for information only. Board action memos for August 10th and August 25th, 2022, Board of Education business meetings. Number 2, the following policy regulation are being presented to the Board of Education for information only. Policy 5300, Code of Conduct. Number 3, Board of Education special meeting, District Safety Plan, September 28th, 2022 at 8 p.m. Number 4, Board of Education workshop, October 6th, 2022, 7 p.m. Number 5, Board of Education meeting, October 20th, 2022 at 8 p.m. G1A, old and new business. Rick?
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do have a few happy happenings that I'd like to speak about, but first I would like to say that we are in our second week of school, and I have to say it is probably one of the best openings that we've had in quite some time. It's just really been fantastic. Beginning with our introductory meeting on the Tuesday after Labor Day, we actually had a wonderful speaker, John Perricone, that was so well received by the staff. It was really tremendous. As a matter of fact, even today, when I was visiting some schools, staff members were referring to how they actually think about that speech every single day and have used that into their practices. And you'll be happy to know too, Ann and Wanda and Rhonda, when I was walking by some teachers in the high school, they were actually reading the book as they were on duty. So it really was just terrific. I also want to say Miss Felix gave a fabulous, rousing speech that day. So can we give her a hand? And the Green Machine was there. They did a fabulous job. But then after that, the kids came in on Tuesday. And, obviously every opening when we have this many students across such a wide district, so many schools, that obviously there are bumps in the road. We have some transportation issues, occasionally. And I do apologize to anybody who had to suffer through some of those transportation issues, as well as scheduling issues. But I have to say, by and large, I think that this opening really was as smooth as a district this large could hope for. And I really want to thank the staff members because I think they've done an outstanding job. I'm talking the TAs, the monitors, the teachers, all of the support personnel just did a tremendous job in trying to get the kids into classes. I want to thank the teachers because they hit the ground running. Just walking around this district and watching them interact with the teachers, really with the students on day one, was just really uplifting. I also want to make a special note. I mentioned the TAs and monitors. They did a fabulous job, particularly on the first day of school, welcoming kids on the bus platform. But I also want to do a special recognition to the security guards who are also, we have several here this evening, and actually I saw all of them in action on the first day of school. They also did a tremendous job with the teachers, the TAs, the monitors, and the security, as well as administration out on those bus platforms and in the hallways when kids were first arriving to school. It really was a joy just seeing the way everyone was so focused on getting kids acclimated and happy with school. So I really want to give them a special round of applause. So, as is usual, we have just so many things going on. As a matter of fact, last night, Southwest, and as a matter of fact, many of the board members were there, just an incredible night. I have to say, we're probably one of the only school districts does stuff like this. Last night, Southwest probably had, I don't know, 500 or 600, 700 people there, in a kind of a welcome back picnic, if you will, where the staff members were there. They had food trucks. They had, families came out and they put down blankets and chairs and they hung out for a few hours in the backyard, just enjoying each other's company. Kids were playing games. They were on the swing set. They had ice cream, empanadas. You got to have empanadas, of course. And it really was just, it was just so uplifting and joyful. And I have to be honest with you, I don't know of any other school district that does stuff like this. And I just, identified that school. There's many other schools. As a matter of fact, we have tomorrow evening, Oak Park has their 60th anniversary bash. That it's very similar. Everybody's welcome too. It's not limited to Southwest. Please go over to Oak Park. It's just to the right where that big field is. That will literally have at least 1,000, 1,200, 1,300, 1,500 people there. And it will have all of the same things. The teachers will have all of their tables set up to meet the kids and the families, but there'll also be food. There'll be games. There'll be prizes. And it'll just be a wonderful night. On Sunday, let me start reading what I have here. The Green Machine Marching Band Home Show will be held this Sunday, September 18th at Brentwood High School at 11 a.m., beginning at 11 a.m. We will be featuring 12 marching bands for a day of pure excitement. So we have 12 schools, including our own, from all over the state, some from upstate as well. Admission is $9, but it goes to a worthy cause, the support of our award-winning Green Machine. There will also be food, vendors, and tons of music. Come one and come all. Same thing. I mean, it's just going to be just a wonderful community event that will literally have thousands and thousands of people there. I do want to thank the Green Machine Parent Association because they just put a tremendous amount of effort into this. So I really hope to see many of you there. Start with hello. It's something that we began a few years back. That is next week, September 19th to September 23rd. Start with Hello Week raises awareness and educates students and the community on ways to reduce isolation and increase connectedness. Principals and teachers engage students in fun activities that promote unity and empathy, such as learning how to say hello in different languages and encouraging students to share notes of kindness and actions that make them smile throughout the day and throughout the week. We always end Friday by having the entire community wear green as a symbol of belonging. So we have Start with Hello. Every single school across the district will have their own unique activities. But really it is about connectiveness and everybody is involved. So the idea is, it's the first few weeks of school. Let's say hello to people. Let's greet people in the hallways, on the bus platform, cafeterias, and let's go out of our way to maybe greet somebody that you don't normally greet. So everyone can kind of feel connected to one another. Schools are holding successful back-to-school nights, as I just mentioned. Last night, East Middle School and the high school held a successful PTA night. Loretta Park, Laurel Park, Southeast had great turnouts also this week. Ms. Breday, I heard Southeast went really well for your first back-to-school night or meet the parent night. That was wonderful. I mentioned Southwest already. Oak Park is celebrating 60 years with a birthday bash. We love the sense of normalcy that this year brings and are thrilled to host in-person events. On Wednesday, October 12th, the PSAT will be administered to all 10th and 11th grade students. So we're back to doing that, which is a wonderful thing, Mr. Callan. All of our 10th and 11th grade students on a Wednesday will actually take the PSAT rather than coming in on a Saturday. I want to thank the Board of Education for obviously supporting that initiative. That's a big deal. The registration fee, here it is, will be covered by the district at no cost to students. While the 10th and 11th grade students are taking the exam, the high school is planning valuable workshops for 9th grade students and seniors at the high school. Following the exam and workshops, lunch will be provided and students will be dismissed at 11:45 with bus transportation. Finally, Hispanic Heritage Month begins today, September 15th, and it goes through October 19th, with many schools hosting extraordinary events during the day and evening, and we look forward to attending these celebrations during the month of October, and I think the board probably will want to do something at our October meeting. And I just have one more announcement. I see Dr. Leone in the audience with his wife, who is expecting in just a few weeks. Can we give them a round of applause and wish them good luck? When is the due date? October 30th. Oh my gosh, that is what a blessing. What a blessing. Good luck.
Okay.
Do you know what the Go Gold, what is it, Go Gold for Childhood Cancer?
Yes, we have.
Wait 1 minute, and Kathy's son, he rides for the.
Oh my gosh, we did want to recognize Kathy's son. Yes, one of our own. He was caught on film, right? He's actually
He was on a billboard in Manhattan. He rides for childhood cancer.
That's right. Did he do a fundraiser or?
Yes, he's doing a fundraiser now. He rides for, to collect money for childhood cancer.
All right, fantastic. And he's one of our own.
So the Go for Gold started with a speech teacher at one of our schools. I think she's at Loretta Park. Yes, who started the initiative due to one of the students that she had with cancer. And she did events last year only at Loretta Park, but it's expanding to all the schools, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
We're moving it district-wide. September is designated the month of cancer awareness for childhood cancer. Go Gold for
Yes.
childhood cancer.
Yes.
Right. And there, I know she had ordered bands. I think principals can probably order those for their buildings. Every building's doing their own thing, just in recognition of the many children that do suffer from cancer, some within our own district. So we want to bring awareness to that.
Thank you, Julie. We're going to move on to the G1b Public Comment. Members of the public who would like to address the Board of Education may do so by completing a comment form provided on the night of the meeting. A total of 3 minutes shall be allotted per comment. The public must conduct themselves in a respectful manner. So before I start calling up the individuals who asked to speak, I just want to let the community at large and the district know that this board is a collaborative board, and we are really, really interested in collaborating with you. When I say you, that means the students, the parents, the faculty, the staff, the administrative staff. It means every single person within the district. And being that the 7 people who sit on this board are members of this community, we do have relationships in the district and outside of the district. As such, things come to our attention, so we just want to address some things that have been brought to our attention regarding, we're going to give some information out on behalf of Mr. Mike Cruz, the Director of Buildings and Grounds, on how we deal with vermin in the district. So without further ado,
They're not
See people's faces.
vermin. They're not referring to me.
I'm trying to
Some
say
people might want
it
to refer.
in a nice way. I don't want to, gross anyone out by using technical terms of what we may find.
Vermin was good.
Vermin, was that a good word? Acceptable? Okay. Okay, as per Mike Cruz, I take a proactive approach to pest management in an attempt to avoid infestations. The plan starts with the school district's exterminator completing a full service to all kitchens before the beginning of the school year, including storage closets used for dry goods and canned foods. This is followed with biweekly monitoring, visits, treatments throughout the school year. While at the building, the exterminator communicates with the building staff, addressing any concerns that come up and handles these requests accordingly. The exterminator follows up to ensure the concern is satisfied. In addition to the biweekly service, there are call-in requests for all types of pest control concerns, including beehives, water bugs, roaches, and mice, to name a few. These are handled immediately with a phone call to the exterminator. A work order is created to document the occurrence. With the recent concern brought to light regarding mice at East Middle, the steps taken for this are placing snap traps in each room after school and removing all snap traps early in the morning prior to student and staff arrival. The custodial staff will create a log of areas where snap traps have been successful, and additional measures can be taken in these areas. This task will continue until there is no evidence of mice, with periodic inspections and communication with building staff to ensure the problem has been remedied. So I hope that helps, and
Everybody's feet is going up.
we just want to make sure that the community knows their concerns are heard and being addressed by the district. Follow up to that.
And it's an isolated.
It's an isolated incident.
so.
You know, it's not like we have, you know, a huge problem that is invasive and, you know, they're carrying backpacks along with our students. That's not happening.
I should say, I mean, we have had a tremendous amount of construction throughout the district. This has happened to us in the past when we were doing the solar panels, and they dig up, you know, in front of the building or behind the building. That obviously disturbs the ground, and sometimes then you know, the mice or something might kind of go towards the building. The East Middle School, that entire parking lot, as well as the cement out front, was all torn up this summer. I mean, it was just a pile of rubble. And obviously that disturbed the ground, much like in your own homes. If you do construction in your own house, I'm sure you've experienced that. You know, something, you know, you disturb the ground, and sometimes, you know, little critters come running around. But I think the point was well taken. I'm glad you read that, Ms. Felix.
Thank you, Rich. And I also wanted to take the opportunity to inform the community that the district is currently working on the live feedback at the Board of Education meetings. We should have something up and running for our October 20th, 2022 meeting. And we thank you for your suggestions and your patience. I just wanted to take an opportunity to thank all the members of this executive board for all of their hard work and commitment to the district. First and foremost, the safety committee. Thank you, Julie, for spearheading a lot of the safety initiatives that we have seen over the past couple of years. We really appreciate that, and your collaboration with the community at large and the district itself. And you, Cindy, for chairing the policy committee. I just want to take an opportunity to let the community know that you've worked on over 40 to 50 policies within the last 3 months to make sure that everything is being updated, along with Maria Malave. So thank you guys, because this is important to make sure our district is, you know, staying in compliance with state laws and regulations. And I'm sure that I'll have an opportunity to thank you, Hassan, once your audit committee gets up and running. And I'm sure you're going to do great things there with your committee as well. So I just wanted to take that opportunity.
Can I just say that Hassan was very helpful over the summer in really making the halal food happen.
He did, yes.
Okay, because, you know, besides coming up, you know, the idea was already out there, but he was instrumental in helping us to really cement it down to the nitty-gritty items on the menu and, you know, what's appropriate and what isn't, so we're ever so grateful.
Yes, we are.
Well, I'm grateful that as a board, we were able to finally get that resolution and provide, you know,
Yes.
comfort to students who are looking for that
Yes,
option.
and
Thank you.
I definitely agree with Julie's assessment of the situation, because, I mean, you really hit the ground running, as did Maria, and really took the bull by the horns to make sure that this happened for our district. And I don't know if Ann or Wanda would like to say something about the Drive for Pakistan, that the district initiative that will be taking
I don't know
place.
if they know about it. I actually sent it over to the high school. I don't know if no, that's okay.
I apologize.
No, that's all right. You know what? I actually,
I didn't want to put anybody on the spot. I just,
Yeah.
I just
Oh,
thought it
okay.
was a great initiative that I wanted to share with the community.
oh yeah, I sent it to Deshauna, and Deshauna met with Manahil. Okay, and I guess, Wanda, you do know about it. Yeah, but they've been keeping me informed. It's really an exciting time, and it's exciting
It's a fluid
initiative.
situation with the catastrophic flood, so we're.
Right.
one day at a time going at it. and
You
see
just
what-
want to talk a little bit about it, Hassan,
Well,
so that the community is aware?
And then you can, Hassan, but then Manahil actually met with the high school administration, and they're actually, their club is actually organizing, a fundraiser and collecting dry goods and stuff, but, you explain.
So we're looking forward to student involvement, and the general gist of what's going on in Pakistan is they're having catastrophic flooding. Approximately 1/3 of the country is underwater. Over 30 million people are displaced. Over $10 billion in damage. In addition to the water, it's not receding. So there's waterborne illness, and a lot of the infrastructure, being a third world country, is slim, and it's been damaged as a result of the flooding. So you have over 2,000 miles of roads and bridges and railroad that has been decimated. So a lot of the relief efforts are difficult in that we're having a lot of trouble getting the goods to people in need. And then also the waterborne illness is adding insult to injury. So we're very excited, and I personally am very grateful to everybody as a Pakistani American to say that we will be having a drive for the people of Pakistan, and that students are going to be heavily involved in taking the lead. So thank you for any prayers or any support. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Manahil, do you want to mention what your committee's doing?
Sure. So I set up a small group of students. It was just, I believe it was today, Dr. Dooley called me to her office and she gave the idea to me, and she just asked me to get a small group of students together so that we can organize a drive. So we'll have different boxes set up around the school, and we talked to the different honor societies and groups within the school so that we can offer some sort of incentive for the kids to donate, like we did with the Draft for Ukraine a couple of months ago, I think. So we offer an honor society credits and community service for those who donated. So I feel like that's a really good incentive, and we're going to be working with another organization. So after we collect the goods and materials, we'll send it to them, and they'll send it to those who need it off the time.
Could you give us an idea of the items that are being collected, either you, Manahil, or Hassan? But I don't know if everybody's
Go ahead,
aware.
please.
So any sort of like clothes, the necessary clothing, because other people who are being displaced, they don't have anything with them anymore, rather than just clothes on their back, and as well as non-perishable food, so things like that.
Any medical supplies at all?
Medical items as well, so basic medical items
You
are
mentioned
appreciated.
diseases.
Can we
If
put
someone
some-
doesn't.
I'm sorry.
No, please.
Can we put something on the district website about the drive so that if any other community members that may not have students in the district that may want to contribute can drop off in district?
Either at the high school or if we want to set something up
Yeah,
here?
the admin
I think we
building?
can
Yeah, we could-
facilitate hopefully the flyer, right?
Yeah, we can send something out via Parent Square, and this is where I'm going to need your help, Ms. Ortiz. Once it's all collected, then you'll have to coordinate with B&G to, there are certain drop spots, right, Hassan, in various parts of the city?
That is correct. So we're working with a very credible organization which is out of the NYPD, and they're working with the Office of Eric Adams. So they have set up a number of different drop sites. I believe there's 4 in total throughout Long Island. They are also willing to hopefully come and pick up at the school if that's more convenient. So I have had that conversation with them. And again, majority of it encompasses medical supplies, basic medical supplies, any unused clothing that people could use, as well as if you have prayers. Obviously, prayers are much appreciated. And I believe they do have a link to that NYPD organization or coalition if someone would want to give funding as opposed to any of the items listed.
I think I saw baby formula and baby supplies.
That makes sense.
I would have to say, given the circumstances, that's probably greatly appreciated
sure.
as well. So I don't think there's anything that, would be a practical donation that they would turn away at this point.
That's not just for the high school, all primary schools.
That is correct. So I believe the drive is going to encompass the district.
District-wide.
Yeah.
But will every school collect? So,
They
do we know?
can't, I guess we'll figure out the details,
Okay.
and then, that's the hope. that every school building would collect.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's Ann and Wanda, we can, I focused on the high school, but we really could probably do it district-wide. And you can coordinate with the principals, how they can collect it in the front offices or.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, as I was saying, this is a collaborative board, and we've received some letters of concern and questions, so I just want to make sure that I read this out in public until we get our live feed back in and working. Good evening. I would like to introduce myself as a parent of a child who is in a Level 3 special education classroom in the Brentwood School District. I am disheartened as a parent so early in the school year to find out that the teacher's assistants in special education classes have not only been taken out of their prior placements, but also had their time in the CWC and Level 3 style classrooms that they were in decreased by at least half. This means that the kids in these classrooms only have the extra support for no more than 3 hours a day. I believe that this is not enough. I believe that the special education IEP students need full-time support. The students in these type of special education classrooms need additional assistance not only in academic areas, but also possibly with social and emotional issues as they struggle to learn the lessons being taught. I know for me, my child is below grade level and has difficulty with learning. My child has benefited from the fact that she has the additional adult support with her during her entire school day. When she needed help with a concept being taught, she would have the opportunity to sit with a teacher assistant in a more reduced setting and get the reinforcement she needed. As a parent, I believe having the extra assistance of a teacher assistant working full-time in the special education classrooms is necessary to work towards their success as a student. My questions are, what is the plan of the district to get all of the teacher assistants back into their respective academic classrooms? How quickly will this be implemented? And what ways are being used to get enough assistance to fill the positions that are available?
Okay. Thank you, Eileen. Well, we took some steps towards that end this evening when we approved a contract with an outside company. I'm going to make a plea right now to anybody who is listening. We are in desperate need of teacher assistants, teacher aides, and monitors. We are in dire straits, as really most districts across New York State are suffering right now. And, I'm sure Ms. Young can speak to that more than I can, but on the listserv, everywhere, even on the superintendent's listservs, we're really in bad straits. So we actually have, what's happened, unfortunately, is we do have to remove some TAs to different positions. We do have what's called one-to-one aides, and that is where an adult has to be with a student all day long, and that sometimes has to take priority. So unfortunately, in the beginning of the school year, some teacher assistants have been pulled from their assignments. It is not an ideal situation. I know Ms. Young, has been working on this since really well before the year started. So I hope that this is remedied as quickly as possible. That is our goal, to get the teacher assistants in the class, doing the instruction, get the teacher aides where they're needed to help out, get the one-on-one aides as well. So, I am going to make a plea again. We've actually, published in many different areas help wanted ads for teacher aides and teacher assistants and monitors. So I hope more people come forward. But that's the best answer I can give at this moment. Ms. Young, do you want to add anything to that?
I just wanted to thank the board, the superintendent, and everyone for, really paying attention to the needs of our department. We submitted contracts in April for the upcoming school year, and I remember your secretary saying, April's a little bit early, but we knew that this was a problem. I sit on a committee with all the assistant superintendents and directors across Suffolk County of special education, and they're seeing the same issues everywhere. And I think I hear the same narrative that I hear from Ms. Iola, that many people are not happy with
with the current rate of pay that they're getting, and there is a shortage. I think that working together, we've created 2 positions. We put out postings, and I think that hopefully we'll get applicants, but it's a process and it takes time. I will be able to cover immediate needs now that we approved that contract. This evening, the board approved it. And I would think that I would want in my special classes a TA to support those teachers. That's our goal. But we have to deal with mandates first. That is the priority. But thank you, and if anyone else has any ideas, because this has really consumed my time, to be honest with you, addressing this need. It's really a small part of what I have to do, and it's consumed a lot of my time because I really want to address the need. And Mr. Loshner knows that we've been putting our heads together trying to figure it out. I've even put in perm subs to help support classrooms. I've done everything. If you have any ideas to address the need, my phone is open. Call me anytime if you have any other ideas, and my ear is open. I listen to any ideas or suggestions that would help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have another letter from a community member. Good evening. I am a community member and also the parent of a special education student here in the Brentwood district. I am writing today to ask the board what the district's plan is moving forward regarding how CSE meetings for the students will be held. In the past, all meetings were held at the child's school and the parent would come to the school unless, for whatever reason, it was a meeting to be held at the Special Services Building. It was only in March of 2020, and we shut down for COVID, that CSE meetings had to be held virtually or over the phone. That should have only been for the remainder of the 2019-2020 school year. When the 2020-21 school year began, regardless of the students being on a green-gold schedule, there was staff and students in the building with masks and 6 feet distancing. Why would it be that parents were only able to attend meetings over the phone and not in person? This protocol continued into the 2021-2022 school year as well, even though this school year saw everyone in school each day and the mask mandate was lifted. When meetings are held in this manner, it oftentimes is difficult to hear what is being said due to poor phone connection, people possibly talking at the same time, etc. In addition, for parents who may need the assistance of a translator, the CSE then needs to call a translation service over the phone rather than have someone in person sitting beside the parent and committee. It is my belief that all CSE meetings should be held in person for the benefit of all attending and for the parent as well to have an accurate understanding of what is being spoken of and proposed for their child's IEP for the following school year. If, for any reason, the district plans to continue holding CSE meetings over the phone, I respectfully request that all involved in the planning process reconsider their decisions. Thank you.
Question.
Yep, Ms. Young, you can address it, but before I do, first of all, these 2 letters were terrific. I mean, I don't know who wrote them, but if I think it's a great way to communicate. It's also something that we, Ms. Young and I have spoken about quite a bit, the CSE meetings in person, so.
No, I was going to say, I agree with most of the stuff in that letter. We decided early on to move back to in-person meetings, but it's always been a choice. We always gave parents a choice. If they wanted to come in, we would have them come into special services and sit down with the chairperson, even if the other members were online. So they always had a choice, and that's what we plan to do this year for annual reviews. Now, there is a lot of construction going on at special services, so it will be difficult to have meetings in person because we don't have the space available. But if a parent...
Can't you have them where the child is going to school?
Well,
that's what I used to do.
Well, if it's available. So some of the spaces, and that's what we're working on with the building principals, some of the spaces that were typically available for CSEs have been used for placement for related service providers, offices. I mean, space is very limited in the district, but we are working hard to accommodate. If a parent requests an in-person meeting, we'll definitely make a way for it to happen. I do agree that it is a problem with translation services, and we're trying every everything in our power to figure out ways to remediate that. I know that recently Ms. O'Connor worked on something where TAs get a little extra if they help out with translation services. I do think that there are language issues with with the vocabulary of a CSC meeting. I think it's important that whoever translates the meeting is knowledgeable about our process, our procedures, and understands special education. So we do have some people that do it, but we don't have enough. So I would like to really improve in that area with translation services. I think it is a need in our department. And, I also, like that community member, would like to see that happen by the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone have anything? Carmen Oyola?
Oh, she did. Well, lucky for me, two of those letters focused on some of my questions, so I like this. I don't have to talk much. But just to alliterate, there are 91 vacancies in TAs in special ed. I don't know the number on monitors.
91?
91.
91, she said.
91.
I thought we had 10.
And, no.
I can verify that.
Please, from 10 to 91 is a big difference.
The list I got from HR, yellow, vacancies, not,
So I can address it.
Please,
Yeah,
that's a really big difference.
Let Carmen
Why don't we
finish
let
and
Carmen
then.
finish?
and then you can answer. And I'm sure we're short monitors, bus monitors, attendance, as always. There are many changes throughout the building with the CWC, the level this and level that. And the members are concerned, and they're being put in a class that they didn't have that teacher before. And they're like, well, am I being targeted? I had this teacher, we worked so well for many years. Again, and I'm telling them it's because of the need of a student, whatever falls, the priority of the students, in category, and that's why they're moving them. They would like to know if once that position is occupied by another, can and will they be able to go back to their teacher that they've been working with many years and have had productive years in doing so? That, it's a concern for them. Again, there was an email sent out informing administrators to send home any CSEA member to refusing to change a diaper or assist in toileting a student. And also consider that that's being insubordinate. The district has enrolled students that have more sensitive needs, knowing of the lacking in staff and facility. We don't have proper facilities. In DDI, in BOCES, their restrooms are bigger. There is more of a larger sink to help assist children in cleaning them properly. You want them to feel fresh. Wet ones and wet wipes are very small and they don't cover much. And sometimes, depending on the child, it's irritating. As president of CSEA, I'm informing the district that CSEA will be filing an improper practice. The members are concerned that if they refuse, there will be retaliation. Members at this point are not feeling appreciated. It is a money issue. I did some homework, and on Long Island, the middle of a TA starting salary is $29,821. The starting salary of a level 2 and 3 is $21,000. This issue is a big problem. We want, teacher's assistant need certification, development hours, so forth and so on, and it's costly. And yes, the district, is helping. Hopefully this year we can create more trainings for the TAs, 20 hours a year, but it's still if they can't make it, they can't manage it, they have to pay on their own, and earning what they're earning is not enough. I'm going to say the majority of the CSEA members have 2 jobs, because what is being paid is not enough. And with rising costs and everything, again, no fault to your own, it's rising costs, the numbers are going up, they're going up. But I would have appreciated, Mr. Lochner, being that I am the president of the CSEA and that email concerned the members, I would have liked to have been part of that email just to get the heads up, because the members, boy, that last weekend, my phone was off the hook. Carmen, I was like, oh no.
Okay, no, I'll address it. There's a lot spoken here, I think I've gone over this before with you, Carmen, that really is not appropriate for public session. You are the president of a union. I am the superintendent representing the district. We are to negotiate privately, not
Right.
publicly, so I really don't appreciate that.
I'm not negotiating, I just wanted to mention
Let me be
it,
clear.
just the board to know.
I know,
That's it.
I am, let me also be clear. My directive was to administrators, which I have every right to do, and that is my directive. It does stand, and I stand by that, okay? So administrators got my instruction, and that's what I expect them to do. Now, as far as negotiating, we actually just closed the CSEA contract last year. I will tell you that this board is agreeable to meeting again. I'm not going to get to negotiations right now. I will tell you that the district labor attorney has reached out to the CSEA representative over the last few weeks at my directive to try to get a meeting together, but we've actually failed to hear from your representative.
No, he spoke to him Tuesday, and he was supposed to communicate. Unfortunately, Neil had something that came up and he
Well,
had to
when
take
we
care
have
of,
that-
and that was put on
Right.
hold.
That's a meeting that will take place, and then
But
these
that meeting
negotiations
was-
then can be taken
Right.
in private, but not in public.
That meeting was held, the first one was held in August. We were asked to present a proposal.
Right.
And here it is, September 15, and we're still in limbo. And like I said, the members are not feeling appreciated, and more, as you can see on here, they're leaving. Oh, I don't know. It's a thought.
Well, to be clear, I think I've mentioned it a number of times, they are very much appreciated. I really do. I think I've made that apparent since my tenure here as superintendent. However, I also have to make sure that certain issues are addressed. And historically, if they've been responsible for certain duties, then they have to continue with that. You can't just arbitrarily say that they're not going to do certain duties. But I will say that the teachers, the TAs, and the monitors, very much appreciated by me, as well as Ms. Young. As I said, that I hope that eventually in the future, we have an opportunity to address some of your concerns, and hopefully, we can put to rest some of these TA and monitor issues.
Oh, and just one more thing, thank you. For page 15, 24, and 26, those 2 monitors finally got their 6.5. It took a year and a half, but thank you.
Thank you, Carl. All right, we'll leave it at a compliment then. All right.
Okay.
Well, I think we answered everything, right?
Did you have anything else, Carmen, that you needed? Or did you want to address something, Rhonda?
The vacancy issue. I just want people to understand that we have been very generous in this district in supporting teachers, but every classroom doesn't necessarily have to have a TA. We hire one-to-one aides for medical reasons. Sometimes the kids graduate. Once we hire them, and the kid leaves, we really don't need them anymore. So we're talking about vacancies that are not really required. So mandated services are the one-to-ones. If a classroom is an 811, then there's an aide built into that class. We have predominantly 15-1 classes without TAs built into the class model. So we've been generous, but now there's a need for one-to-one to meet the mandates that are on the IEP. And so we have to meet the mandated needs first. But all vacancies don't automatically mean there's a need. We just never abolished the positions. So that's the difference.
Talking of 15-1.
A 15-1 is-
Special ed does not need an aide.
No, it's 15 students by the state,
Right.
okay? It's 15 students and 1 teacher. Most of our classes
And
are
we
that.
always had an aide in there.
Well, we didn't, at the elementary level, we used to give the aid, but it's not required.
And that's why our special ed department was great. Because we.
Oh,
had
I
an
agree.
aide. If we didn't have that aide, my kids wouldn't have been where they were.
I agree.
I'm sorry, I have to disagree with you.
I'm agreeing with you. I think I said, as per the state, New York State.
I don't care what they.
No,
The-
she's
the
agreeing with
state-
you, Cindy. She's just saying that we don't have these
Saying
staff.
It's not
we have to
mandated.
give them- You're right, but we need to give them that.
Oh, I started off saying that,
Okay,
Cindy,
I just
so
wanted to make sure, please.
yeah.
It's
I
so
started off the last time I spoke saying that in a perfect world, I would want every teacher in the level 3 classes to have an aide.
Right, that's our
But
hope.
when we don't have them, we have to address mandated services first. That, we have to be in compliance. Special Services is a compliance office. I have a state compliance regional associate attached to me. If there's something wrong, she calls me and I have to fix it. So I deal with the state all the time.
So all these years, we were doing the wrong thing.
No, we were doing
weren't.
in
We were being
addition.
generous.
In addition to.
Generous. Yes. we
No,
were
no,
being
no, I
generous.
understand. But that's, Cindy, we're actually in agreement. We want to get back to that model.
I just wanted to make sure.
And as soon as we can, we will get back to that model.
Yes.
Hopefully, if it is a money issue,
Yes,
the district hopes to address that.
yes.
But it's, we have a problem.
wanted to make sure.
Oh, no, we completely agree with you.
If you'd be so kind,
Yes.
in the interest of just getting some clarity, would you concur with that number? It didn't seem like you did. You disagreed.
No,
So
I
could you give more of a realistic range based on your statement as far as the state requirement, where we sit with vacancies?
I would not feel comfortable throwing a number out,
Sure.
but I could
Perfectly
do
fine.
my research and get a more accurate number.
Please do.
But the number that I last got was nowhere close to
Okay.
that number.
Maybe we could,
Yes.
reevaluate
And
that.
how many TAs are we getting from ABC?
Well, currently, I think I need to express that there was a guidance document that came out from New York State Support for Early Learning. And that guidance document originally came out in 2016. And that guidance document stated that we cannot make a student, we can't use the lack of toilet training as a criteria for enrollment. Okay, so we have a lot of general education students. I think it's mostly general ed students in East K that need toileting assistance. This is something that we never, ever, am I right, Ms. Palmer?
Never.
This is new. We've never seen anything like this
He
before.
explained it to us.
So many people are saying special ed, but I'm telling you, we have an issue with general ed students that need toileting support. And at East K, we have more general ed students in need than we have special ed students in need. But I'm in a different situation because I supervise the school health monitors as well. So if it's a student that has a need, I have to address all the students' needs. So it's not just a special ed issue. I want to clarify that. We really need to work on learning, like teaching these kids, working with the parents, putting a component into their education of early toilet learning, and working with the parents so that we can help these kids transition into school. There's a lot of things going on. Kids are socially, emotionally affected by the pandemic. They're returning. It's a transition period. Students probably weren't toilet trained and missed out on preschool. They're coming into kindergarten and pull-ups. We have to service the needs of these kids. We cannot leave them in a classroom soiled and ignore the fact that they're not toilet trained. Then we're going to have another problem. They're going to be further behind on their academics. So I think everybody has a responsibility. I'm not above it. I went over to the building. My administrators were over there cleaning kids. So, if we could do it, I think that everybody has a responsibility to address the unique needs of our students. And I do agree that we need more help, and I've been fighting that good fight with Mr. Lochner and the board. We've been fighting it, and we're trying to address the need. But I need people to be patient. It takes time. We have to find help. Once we get the people in, then we'll move to the next step. We posted the job. We have to go through the application process, and it takes time. It's not an overnight thing.
And how many TAs are we getting from ABC?
15.
15. And they don't have to be certified?
Well, I don't know if it's 15 because I am mandated by the state as a compliance office to address the needs of students, or we're out of compliance. So I have students enrolling in the district every day. Some of them really, really need a lot of help. So I would be lying if I said, well, 15, because what do I do to that kid that has a need if we don't have a TA available to support him?
But we just voted on something and we don't know how many.
Well, you never know.
But that number.
Kids are enrolling.
Well, we voted on the contract for a limited period of time, 3 months. We actually, in all honesty, that number has changed in just the last few days, because I heard 10 last week.
Well, you heard 10, but if you look on the board agenda, there are 5 resignations. There are 2 leave of absences, so that's 7 TAs that we're down from the 10. Right, that I requested. Think about it. So that's one thing that's going on. And then you have other issues, because there's always students enrolling in the district. And then there were a lot of kids that needed toileting that I wasn't even aware of in the gen ed that was brought to my attention by the principals.
Now,
So-
other agencies had no TAs, but
No
this
one-
agency has a lot of TAs.
Well, we're hoping. They all say they have them. The
They all do,
problem is
and they
that
don't show up.
we contract with them and they don't show up.
So, since this is a,
No, they do.
since this is a fluid situation,
able to see
it
that?
seems like it's a very fluid
Very
situation.
fluid.
And I think everybody has agreed that we're all dedicated regardless of,
Yes.
where you are in the process of this. Could you be kind enough to delve into this further and potentially update us with that
Oh,
vacancy,
absolutely,
right? So that we have
absolutely. At the
a
next
concrete
board
number to
meeting,
work
I
off
have
of.
so many emails
Thank
on
you.
this, I'll combine them together
Thank you.
and present. But I thank everybody for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Rhonda.
I have a question
So I
about the
think we're
posting.
kinda-
Eileen. I'm sorry. Oh.
This was the table given to me August 25th, 2022. And if you want, anyone can look at my phone, and everything that's in yellow is a vacancy. So does that look like 10 to you?
No, I think, you could show that, I guess, to Ms. Hoey, but again, Ms. Young did explain the difference in the numbers.
So we may not be hiring them back or whatever, we don't need them, whatever.
I think it needs more research, obviously, right? We have a.
No, I
So,
think.
in the
yeah,
meantime, Mr.
I
Lochner,
would be-
I'm sorry,
yes.
I have a question about the posting for the teacher aides and teacher assistants. Is that an open posting, or does it have an end date?
The initial one did have an end date, but, we're in talks about reposting it and keeping it open.
And that has
That'd
to
be
go
great.
through civil service, right?
Those are civil service jobs, yes. No, I'm sorry,
No,
the
no.
TAs are not, they're not certain, they're certificated.
So they're really open to anybody in the community,
Anybody, I think
ours
we've
or
made
other
this,
communities
yeah,
that-
we've made this plea to the
Yes.
community a number of times.
So maybe people in attendance could be kind enough to spread the word also, that we're very
And I
And
have
actively
can we
looking to
also think
resolve.
about, sorry,
this
can we also
vacancy
think
issue.
about outside the box ways of advertising?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, are we on OLAS with
We're
that
on,
position?
we're on OLAS.
And some people have mentioned Indeed, that apparently some districts advertise on Indeed.
They haven't seen it anywhere. That's-
I'll have to check Indeed. Yeah, we've been on
Do we
D.
do Indeed?
I thought so.
For this one?
Yeah.
Have we posted, okay.
Can we post maybe perhaps in the Penny Saver?
Eileen, it looks like there's somebody who might want to share something.
Hi, good evening. I don't need a mic. My name is Betty Brown, Greenham Community Advocate. Been in this district for 60 years. Can we use some common sense, please? We need teacher's aides, whatever. This is our community. Can you kindly please write a letter to your local mosque, your local churches, etc., your local community organizations. Let them know what you need and the qualifications to fit the position. Let them know how much you're willing to pay. Okay, because being on Facebook, a lot of your community people are not on Facebook, OLAS, or any of those other things. So, such a suggestion, perhaps, we can just do a reach out. Tomorrow night, at the Oak Park 60th celebration, my children went there. No, I will not be there, but my children went there. Maybe have some letters ready. When you do your back-to-school night, because what you need to do is tap into your community. Okay? People here like you all. You just got to learn how to tap into. We're all in this together, and the goal is to make sure that our children have the best education possible. I promised myself I wasn't going to say anything, so I'm going to say it.
You're always welcome
you,
to say
Betty.
something, Ms. Green.
Thank
We appreciate that.
Definitely.
Yep.
Maybe a robocall?
I've already done that, but yeah, no, actually, that's a great idea.
No, I know,
Yeah.
I know amongst the board, and
Yeah,
I know some of us in the board have had different ideas on how to tap into the
Yeah.
community as well, Ms. Green. So
Yeah, I love it.
Your thought is not, it's not strange to the community or to the board. We agree with you 100%.
We appreciate it.
And we appreciate the
yeah,
commentary.
no,
Thank you.
it's a great idea. Gives me an opportunity, I'll go to different churches on Sunday. I'll get to have it even
They'll love you,
quicker.
Rich. They already do.
Just bring the letters.
You bring the letters, right?
Bring the letter, right.
And applications.
If you want to get even faster, you can go to the temples and the mosques and all the other places.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Everywhere.
exactly.
Chances out.
That's right, I guess, right. More
hedge your bets.
opportunities.
That's right. Evelyn Mack? You could just state your name, that you live in Brentwood.
Hello.
Hi,
My
good
name is
evening.
Evelyn Mack. And the reason why I'm here is because my son's best friend's father, just Sunday, I asked him, how was, the first day of school? How's it going? And he's like, you're not going to believe this. But this kid came to my son and gave him this little pack, drugs. And I'm like, get out of here. The first day, he goes to the freshman center. He goes, not only that, but this other kid said, you want to fight with me? And his son was like, no, I don't want to fight with you. And I'm like, I can't believe this is going on. I'm like, okay, maybe I have blinders, okay? But, you hear in the news all the time about the drugs. And I'm just wondering, has that ever been addressed?
Has it been addressed? Many, many times.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We've had parent events, we've had parent workshops, we meet with students. We've actually had, we have assemblies all throughout the year for students in terms of drug abuse. If at any time we discover someone, I don't know if the administration, I'm certain if the administration knew about this, that they would have addressed the issue.
I don't know exactly when this happened, so I'm
Right.
thinking maybe a lunchtime. I don't know, but, it's very disturbing as a parent to hear this, that, a little packet. Could it be fentanyl? I don't even know. But when I looked at his son, he looked a little bit, like scared. I'm like, well, maybe he doesn't want to say anything, because,
Right.
things happen. But anyway. And then my other issue is that my son, June was coming, and he got his grades, and I'm like, oh my God, what is this? He's like, Mommy, I passed, it doesn't matter. I'm like, yeah, but these test grades. So I reached out to all his teachers, 5 of them, and only 1 answered me. And so he's like, Mommy, I gave whatever and so I reached out, I forget it was this Calvera, I think that's his name, whatever. But he says, oh, I'm so sorry. I see I didn't know he submitted it. And so from, I think it was like a 60, it jumped up to a 90. So I'm like, there's a disconnect there. These teachers, well, I don't want to say all of them, but the teachers that I reached out, they didn't reach out to me. I guess they said, hey, it's June, I'm going on vacation, and that's it. And and my son has the thing, it's like, Ma, I passed. That's just a test. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand. Maybe somehow, they missed something. So, yeah. So that's my issue.
Okay, no, I appreciate that, Ms. Mack, and I'm sorry about that. It's something that actually we spoke to the teachers prior to the beginning of school, that, parent contact is absolutely critical. We've mentioned it. I know Ms. Palmer, Ms. Young, and Ms. Ortiz, they meet with their teachers regularly, the administrative staff, they're going to meet with the principals. I promise you that will be on the agenda, that one more time, you have to communicate with parents. And certainly if they reach out to you, then, you absolutely have to respond to the parent, as soon as you
And so my son, he's, it was his, I took him out of resource, but he'll get a little bit, I guess, help. But he was saying that, he's like, I don't even know, she gave us this test, but we didn't review it. And I'm like, really? How could you not review it? And no. And so he did that. He did badly. So I'm like, gee, I would have thought that, at least review it, but no, none of that. So to me, it's like, that's a disadvantage. How could you're having a test, so you're not going to review it? I don't know. Do they not review anymore? I don't know.
No, they review, you mean prior to the test?
Yeah.
They absolutely should be reviewing prior to the test.
Okay.
I don't know the situation, but generally speaking, you review prior to a test with kids, and then, you give the test after that review period. So, I could, maybe guess that maybe they were just trying to test kind of a pre-test knowledge. Sometimes that happens, where before you actually teach a subject, you give out a test about that particular subject area, and you kind of gauge how well the kids do, and you'll know exactly where to direct your instruction. So sometimes we do give what's called a pre-test prior to it. I'm not sure if that's the case, but it doesn't sound like they reviewed it even afterwards. So I do apologize. Typically speaking, teachers do review prior to a test.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Don't they have the teacher there soon?
Now he's in the freshman center?
He's in the freshman center.
Ms. Ortiz, do you know when Meet the Teacher is? October? Okay.
If I may, I just want to let the community know that when situations like this arise, and the first line of defense is always to reach out to the teacher. If the teacher's not notified, they can't help you if they don't know there's a problem. If the teacher is not communicating back with you, then you have another option, contacting the guidance counselor. If both the teacher and the guidance counselor does not communicate back with you, then you need to go to the building principal. Then when you hit the building principal, if they are not addressing your needs, you should address it with the assistant superintendent of secondary, whatever level it is, elementary or secondary. It should come to the superintendent when all else has failed. And I know to many people it sounds like, well, why do I have to go through many steps? It's because at the end of it all, it's the building principal and the teacher who are going to solve your issue. And so kind of bypassing all those steps really puts you and your student or your child at a disadvantage. So it's not that we are, as a board, do not want to tackle your issue, or Rich as the superintendent, is that there are layers embedded and built into the system so that we're working together and not separately.
Right.
So as a parent, I would say, first go to the teacher. If the teacher's not listening, then hey, I'm going to go a step above that. I'm going to go to the building principal or the guidance counselor. And if they're not advocating for me, then I'm going to go and call, the big dogs.
No,
So,
I did reach out to the counselor, and she said, I'm going to reach out to them. But I think they just packed their bags and
Right.
just left on vacation, so.
Right.
And even like now, okay, so he has a schedule that he has 2 lunch periods. But it's like, I think, what, A and B days? I don't even know. So I wanted to get that changed, so I reached out to his teacher. She hasn't reached out. I said, you know what? I know it's busy, you know, they're changing schedules. I said, you know what, we're gonna meet on Friday, because they had like a meeting, you know, all the kids can go to the school, whatever. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna speak to the principal. So I think his name is Otero, whatever. And he says, come into my office. And he tells me what's going on. He said, it's like an algorithm. It just throws the classes and whatever you get, you know? And I said, yeah, but, you know, he's not getting what he wants, you know? And we're short of, you know, teachers, technology, whatever. And I'm like, oh, God, here we go. I'm not going to get what I want. But anyway, I said, but if there's a chance that say a kid doesn't want, say, business or whatever, and the teacher feels, you know, I don't think he's good for here. Can you put my child there? He goes, oh, yeah, we have a wait list. I'm like, oh, I never know. I said, okay, put him on the wait list. So then the second week, he got what he wanted, you know.
Right.
But it's like I have to, you know, as a parent, you have to advocate for your children.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
But some
No one's gonna
parents,
do
they're
it
like,
better than a mom. Nobody's gonna do it better than a mom.
Yeah.
Or dad.
Sorry,
just
sorry, Hassan. Sorry. A parent.
I felt compelled to throw that out
Parents.
there. Just
Don't
for all the
beat me up
dads
too
there
much out there in the
watching.
community. I misspoke. I
I'm
meant
sorry, but
parent.
Dad is not here
Parent.
tonight.
I meant parent.
Actually, I think it is mom. Moms do a better job.
I think you're right, but just, you know, to save
Thank you,
face, I wanted
Hassan.
to say
Thank
that.
you for saving me, Hassan.
Anyway, thank you, but I love Brentwood and I love what you guys do. I talk about you guys all the time, and then people say, you know, Brentwood always have so many things for their students. I'm like, because we hustle. When we want something, we hustle.
That's
So
right.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
Thank
much. Yes, that is true. Parents are the best advocate for their
The mom thing
children.
was right, I just, you know, it hurt a little, so I threw something out.
Do we have any other questions from the audience?
I certainly did not plan to come up and speak, but publicly, I'd like to thank the board for sticking up for special education students. And I get emotional, but I do wear a triple hat here. Not only am I a parent of a special needs student, I'm a community member, and I'm also an educator in the district as a level 3 TA, going on my 14th year. So to hear Ms. Young explain further about what's going on within the department, to hear the board members stick up for the rights of the TAs as well as the students so that we can serve them. It does make my heart feel a little bit happier to know that hopefully soon enough that we will be back in those classrooms full-time. I know what impact I've made on students, and I need to continue to make that every day for my 6-hour shift and collaborate with a teacher full-time. It's amazing to have a feeling to be able to teach to the capacity that I do, even though I'm not a full-fledged teacher, but I have the opportunity to help a child grow and learn. And regardless of a pandemic or not, those special needs students are not at the level that they should be yet. They're getting there. But it's only with the assistance as well. I can't say it's only with, let me refrain from that. It's with the assistance of a teacher assistant who's certified, who takes their college credits, who does their professional development hours, and can collaborate with their teacher for the success of that student. And as much as there are many opportunities for, many issues, many things that the district is involved in, I'm just standing up to tell you personally, special education, it's in my heart. I deal with it every day at home, and I deal with it every day in the schools. And I thank you for anything you can do moving forward to allow the teacher assistants to do what they need to do every day, for every minute possible, that we can get that budget passed or whatever resolution or whatever it is to keep us there, including, of course, the hiring. I don't go to church, Mr. Loshner, but if I need to come with you, I will. I promise. Whatever it may be.
Maybe we both should start going to church a little more frequently.
Listen, you know what? I walk the halls. I see the deficits in staff. I see the deficits in the students. And you all know who I am and who I worked with. And I do believe that that awesome educator helped me grow my passion and my heart for these kids. If it wasn't for her, I don't know where I'd be. So if you can just continue your quest to find, to solidify the position amounts that are available, whatever it may be. I know you had said it has to be
Civil service?
whatever it may be, the 91, the 10, the 15. There was so many numbers flying, I think I was on an airplane.
We'll hopefully have some answers
Yeah.
for those.
What's,
Hopefully, I think the hope is that we're going to have some answers that are a little more concrete. And thank you for your dedication.
well, yes, thank you. And I support Ms. Iola. She supports me. She supports the CSCA members. And that's what we're here for. Bottom line, whoever's sitting in this room, we're here for those kids. We have to go to bed at night and put our head on our pillow and know that we did the right thing every minute of every day for these kids. We might not see it today. We might see it at high school graduation or when they come back and they tell us what their career choice is. But at some point in our lives, we did something to make theirs better.
Absolutely. That was
And we thank you.
absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
And we thank you, Ms. Law, for your words, your suggestions, your dedication to the district. I think Cindy and I and Julie had spoke about this recently, that on this board, I think almost every one of us, I think on this current board, every one of us has had a child in special services. So we all know the importance, not to take away from Gen Ed, but we all do understand the importance of a TA in the classroom. So know that it is our goal and our responsibility to the community, the district, to make sure we have these individuals in place.
I definitely appreciate that, and of course, the TAs themselves appreciate it, the teachers involved appreciate the assistance, and that's what we're there for. I made a career choice to be a TA, not to technically go much further than that. I truly appreciate the support aspect that I can provide the children. And again, thank you for whatever you can do moving forward, be it 15, whatever it is, and I'm not going to say anything other than please just try to get us back where we belong so that we can continue to help those kids. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the audience?
Right.
Hi, Manny.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good evening, everyone.
Who is that? I can't see from here.
It sounds like the firehouse when you say they can't see me. Usually, I'll take a quick joke on this. I usually take a chair and I put it right by the stand, and I stand up at the firehouse to talk to everybody. But those who don't know me, my name is Manny Troach. I do live in this community. I am a 20-year veteran for the Brentwood Fire Department and a very strong advocate in this community. What I've seen tonight is something that I need to speak out for. I speak for myself, but for a lot of people also, that I knock on doors. It is a pleasure to be able to be in a room with the board members that you have today and the board members that are existing, to see a well-organized and well-pleasured, to be able to understand without having to have the yelling and screaming. What I saw today was a good example of what the future of our kids and the kids that are in this room to measure off what you do. From all heart, I truly believe that every one of you that are sitting in these chairs tonight do and want to bring our students to where they need to be and their education, so that one day they will be able to take over in your spots. There will not ever, ever be an agreement on everything. But what I saw tonight was at least an understanding that we'll get there somehow. with the abilities of the people that are here today, this is what we're looking for. And I thank you, wholeheartedly. There's only one other issue, listening to the community that's out there, and I think maybe some will bring this to light as we speak about it. Your students, our students, leave the school hoping and saying that they get home. Is there any other way that we can at least take a look at when they're going toward the McDonald's, toward Brentwood Road, and toward the library? As you can see, the growth of the homeless, the drug dealers, and the issues are getting bigger. And we do not want to bring something to this table as a bad note. And parents are just asking, is there a little bit more of a patrol that can be done when the school ends and and the kids are going home? We are aware, okay, and everyone in this room are aware that they're banging on windows while the cars are driving. They're breaking into the stores during the day. And our students and family and kids are going home in that same direction. So all I'm asking, Mr. Loeffler, is can we talk to the 3rd Precinct just to make sure that at that time there's a little bit more presence of patrols, just to make sure that our students can get home safely. Because I know for a fact that everyone is working hard to avoid the situation, but right now it's starting to escalate a little bit more. And from what I've seen in the fire department and what I've seen in walking the street, we do not want to come with a bad note. But again, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for everyone for listening, and we all appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Manny.
Any other community members would like to speak?
So I just wanted to say one thing, if it's okay, since I know Manny. Thank you, Manny, for advocating not only for the community, but supporting the efforts of the board and noticing the fact that we're really trying to work together cohesively to really make our school district shine. We have an amazing security team, and we have amazing officers from the 3rd Precinct already, and I'm very confident we're going to be able to engage them.
Yeah, I will, you know what, I'll give them a call. I know the commander, obviously Byron McCrae, the director of security, I'll call him as well. We've noticed this as well, Manny, we've actually had discussions about this. So I think if we make a request as a district, could you, during dismissal time in particular, have some more patrols? It's not uncommon for that request. I've made it before, and they do, for a period of time, they send out patrols, usually by the high school or middle schools, wherever we think there's an issue. But I'll have a conversation with them that we are concerned about some of our walkers in particular who are going home in certain areas. And I think they certainly will be agreeable to it, and I'll also have Mr. McCrae make that same plea.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Manny.
Thank you.
I need a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Motion.
Motion by Hassan Ahmed. I need a second. Second. Second by Cindy Safiri. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstentions? Noes? So moved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone. Hope to see you September 28th at 6 p.m.